alluded to this idea that this application will eventually have multiple controllers, right? We built something called the books controller, but then what if we wanted our own authors controller where we can create, edit, update, read, destroy like artists, right? Then we're gonna have multiple controllers, and then we're probably gonna have multiple views for them. So it doesn't really scale well if I just call this like books index, because then artist is also gonna have a file called artist index. Right? Then it becomes really confusing about like which index is which, and then how will I figure that out? Today we're going to kind of separate those a little bit further and abstract them into a little bit more of a more organized file structure so that you can immediately see which one belongs to what. We're going to touch base, we're going to touch down a little active record action, and a little mod 1 stuff, a little migration stuff, and then we're going to build out almost full CRUD, everything except delete. Cool? Awesome. So first thing is, usually when you get an application, you're worried about like, oh man, there's so many files here, right? There's this app, there's this folder for models, folder called controller, folder called view, and then there's some config.ru, there's like a gemlock file. I can't remember how to do all of this. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got you. So before we get started, right? There's a gem called Cornel, which actually was written by, you don't have to write this down, okay. Was written by a previous Flatiron student. And all it's going to do is it's going to build this skeleton for you for Sinatra. So you never really have to build that skeleton from scratch. Cool? So it's just called Cornel new, right? I guess I'm going to make a new Cornel app, and I get to give it a name. So what would you like to build today? Anything you want, otherwise we'll build books again. Please don't make me build books again. Please. Rat. Rat.
I think that's a good one.
Rap Batman or Cheeseburger Archive? Usually I like to take people to Flavortown and build the nachos that I've been talking about, but Rap Batman or Cheeseburger Archives are viable options. What would you like to build?
Rap Batman. Wait, Rap Batman.
What is that?
I don't even know what that is, and I'm scared. Candy.
Halloween.
Great. Just in time for Spookfest, let's build Spooky Town. And all it is just going to be like this candy app, right? All it's going to do, we're going to have one model. It's going to be candy. Cool? Great. So when I run this, you'll see a lot of things just happened. If you remember back in Mod 1, right, the great and honorable Mike Chang should have introduced you to something called Rake. Did he make this comment about how Rake was built on something called make in C? Cool. Rake basically just runs Ruby, which means that I can do in Ruby something like file.new, right? Just like in the just like in the shell here, you can do touch. Oops, that's not how to spell it. Touch and then like file name dot extension, whatever that is, right? In Ruby, you could do the same thing, right? You could do like file.new, and then you can pass it like the name of your file. Does that make sense? So what this is doing is it's just making a bunch of these files, and then it's printing to the terminal, right? Pretty simple, sort of like puts, hey, I created this, this is the name of it. It's probably going to interpolate, right, the name that I put in here as like the main app name for my file structure. Does that make sense? So all this is, to break it down, is just the skeleton for my Sinatra app, something you've already seen before, probably in the labs, in the last lecture from yesterday, all built in just this one command line command, right? So when you built your command line applications, you're like, cool, let's go like shopping, or like let's fight Pizza Rat, or whatever it is that you want to build in your command line. Command line is not dead, and it never will be. It's so important to be able to have those skills. So just because you're now writing code in the browser doesn't mean that what we taught you in Mod 1 is not applicable. Cool? So it's super awesome. You had a question?
Is this going to be in the recording?
I'm recording right now.
Fantastic.
Yeah. All right, if you're ever wondering, there's this little thing right here. Bloop. Yeah. If that's going, I'm recording. Oh, trust me, when you get to Rails, It's a monster, and it'll build a lot more for you. So here you'll see, right? Let's just talk a little bit about what it built for me, right? The initializers, something called lib. All I really care is that it has some sort of environment. Let's see what else. I have my controllers, my views, and my models, right? It sets up that config RU that runs the application controller or something like that, right? Like it's just kind of like seeming a little bit familiar. Have my gem file and like it builds like the README. Everything is kind of done. So where am I in right now? What folder? I haven't done anything. I just made this folder. So I should cd into Spooky Town. Cool. So I notice I have a gem file here. Did I bundle install? No, I'll have to bundle install. Right?
You just write bundle?
I can. I'm also teaching, so like it's better to be more explicit. But sure, I will write bundle for you. Or I can go into my ZSH profile and then just have alias for bundle and just call it B. So I'm just like, yo, check out, I'm running B right now. And then you're going to be like, wait, what? It's too many layers of abstraction. But yeah, I'm going to run bundle from now on. Didn't know if you knew what that was. So I got to like tiptoe around you, right? Guide me, help you. Yes?
For Neil, is gem file like already pre-written?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I have it installed already. But if you wanted to, you would do gem install Cornel, right? Just like you did like gem install LearnCo, and then have that globally.
I meant like under gem file, is everything already defaultly written there?
Yes, I'll explain that here, like actually, right the now. Good question. Thanks for leading me into that. That wasn't a plant at all. So, cool, that's not safe. All right, so here, let's just look at the file structure in a more familiar way since like I kind of showed you what it did in the command line. But look at this app, controller, model, views, money, right? We have config, we have this environment, which basically sets up our database. We have this config RU that's like running this application controller. And then ultimately our gem file. Notice how a lot of these files already have things written in them. It's part of what Rake can do. And that is after I make the file, this is what I want in it. And I can pre-do some of those like non-important things that I just need for setup. Because why would I want to, when I want to make a new Sinatra app, have to type all this every time? Or build the skeleton and then copy and paste it into my files every time. That's kind of frustrating, right? I can make a script that will build everything for me immediately. Cool? And now I can do what it is that I want to do, and that is build more features. I'm going to do this to you a lot. I'm just going to point randomly and go build more features, especially during project week. You're going to be like, Evans, I'm done with my app. More features. More features. Cool. So here, pretty standard environment, right? We've looked at this already. We have something called configure do, set public folder to public. That's not important right now. This is just going to pull in our assets, our images, JavaScript, and style sheets. And then views at views. So we don't run into that weird error where the views are always looking for views nested under the controller folder. I don't want that. I want the views to just be under app. Questions? Like I don't want app controller, I spelled that wrong, but it's fine. Views, right? I just want app views because that's how my folder structure is. I have app and I have views here, right? Cool. So first thing is, right, now that I have this application, I kind of understand how it's working. Now I want to build this like candy store just in time for Halloween. Like, one person's excited. 2 people excited. Yeah, spooky. Okay, great. Just me and Laura. Right. I guess we like candy, you know? Laura. All right. That went on the recording. Anyways. So now I need this candy, right? This candy model. How would I make this candy model? Or, better yet, right? Does this look familiar at all? What do I need to get candy to be able to get this data? There's a couple things I need to do. Yes?
You need to create the database?
I need to create, well, yeah, I need to create the database. But I need to basically do this ORM thing. It's going to map my database to my model. Right? Do you remember this? Okay, so how do I do it? Great. how would I create something, like maybe a migration, that's going to help me set up this ORM to map my model to my database? Okay, great. Yeah? Candies, just like this? Create candies like this? Cool. Huh? Huh? Should it be candies or candy? I can check the pluralize, but you know what? We'll just figure it out. We'll let it rip. Cool. Great. I have this migration. What do I need to do now? Well, let's check out that migration, yeah? Let's do that. Cool. A little bit of this, a little DB action, a little migration action, a little bit of this. Cool. Def change. What do I need to do now? Create table, a table. And what's it called? Cool. It needs to do what? It needs to do T. Very good. Right? So, sweet. T is not like a person. It's just a table block, right? All right. So we have this string. Cool. Nominate. What else? Anything about candy? Just boolean it up and just be like tasty, right? Sweet. I mean, there's a lot of candies out there, right? Three Musketeers? False. Snickers, though, default true, obviously. So, is there anything else I need to do here? Okay. All right. None of you would make that work. So something new in Atom that I noticed is like if you don't keep this end, oops. Oh, dang it. Like this would not have highlighted if I missed this end, which is kind of cool and interesting. Also, I lost my color on the T's. I don't know. It's got weird. Sweet. So now I have this migration, right? What do I need to do with this migration? What should I do? Cool. Noise. And how can I check to see if that was done correctly? Shima. Nice. So is this what we want? Nice. Can I now check my console to see if it exists? I can just rake console it up and just be like, hey, candy.oh. Do I not have rake console? Oh, painful. Cool. Let's do it. I need to do, how do I do this again? Yeah, but there's like a way to write the rake tasks. Do you remember? Yeah, me neither. That's all right. This is what we'll do. Ready? We'll check it out. A little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of, where did I have it? Probably in Sinatra, yeah, 17. All right, cool. Let's add that bad boy. Again, this is just something that I want to like explain and demonstrate to you that you just need to conceptually understand what something does, because memorizing the syntax is not important. For you right now, you're about what, 4 weeks in? You can probably memorize a lot of this because what you know and what you understand now is such a small bit of like what everything can be in like this universe of being a developer. You'll learn and see that more in Mod 3, especially in 4 and 5, and 100% in 6. So like this right here, yeah, this right here is what we developers do every single day. It's like, okay, great, I need some sort of pry in my rake file. Do I remember how to write it? No. I can very quickly reference it or Google it. It's not a big deal. Because like once you know like all this, you're like, I'm not gonna remember syntax. It's not important. You're gonna forget. Cool? Okay, cool. Keep memorizing because it will hurt. It will hurt. All right, sweet. So now I have my my console, right? A little bit of this, a little bit of this. Now, what should I do? Should I do like candy.all? What will come up? Nothing or busted? Okay. Interesting. Oh, that's right. That is 100% correct. Sweet. Let's go to Spooky Town. You're a G, man. Cool. What about here? About candy dot all over here. Cool. In an uninitialized constant candy, right? We don't have the model that this migration is mapped to. So what do we do? Maybe in my models, I should make it. Yeah? Cool. Oops, sorry. Candy.herb. .herb. Cool. So this little class candy action, right? Inherits from. Cool. Base. Nice. So end action. Do I need anything in here? Nah. Right. A little bit of this. Wait, do they have this yet? Nope. Just kidding. You'll get that in Rails. It just like reloads the code for you, so you don't have to do this like jump in and out of pride nonsense. Joke. Right? Let's check this out. Cool. That exists, right? Let's just make sure, and we'll do a little bit of this action, a little bit of this. That's great for funsies. Cool. What do we have? A name? And what's this name? Kit Kat. Great. And is it tasty? Obviously, right? Those things are delicious. And if you have a problem with that, then life must be hard, right? No, I mean, you know, if you're like allergic to chocolate, then you know, whatever. Actually, yes, then yes, life is hard. Life is hard, true. So, you have this candy, right? Is everything all wired up so far? Perfect. Did I lose anyone on any of this? It's like old mod 1 stuff, right? Sweet. So for my controller, do I want my logic for my candy inside this application controller? Who says yes? Okay. Who says no? Oh, thank God. I thought this was going to be like a no-hand situation. It's going to be rough. Great. Where do I want to put it? Huh? In my candy controller. Yes, no? No? Yes, no? I think controllers are plural, so we'll just put candies controller. Dot verb. Cool. A little bit of this. Oops. A little bit of that. Little candies controller action. And that inherits from? Does it though? So here's the important thing, right? This inherits from Sinatra base. I want to make sure that my public folder, my views, my method override, and I'll get to that in a little bit, everything else goes to all my other controllers. So my application controller must be like this parent controller that hosts all of the logic, which is why it makes sense that root, right, / nothing is probably in here, because that doesn't really belong to a specific controller, but it will belong sort of to like everything, right? Cool beans. Now in this candies controller, probably want to end it. Good practice, right? And candies controller, right here. Cool. What do we want in here? All right, cool. Let's go over this one more time. What are those 7 sweet restful routes? Very good. Loud and clear. Absolutely. What's the next one? Yeah, nice. Wow, this class is so smart. What else do we have? Right? Keep saying get. Keep saying post. Those are HTTP verbs, right? It's like a little separate. It's a lot of information coming. So we have this mysterious friend that like shouts out the correct answers every once in a while, like new, nice. What else do we have? Right? We do have update. Cool. But what else? Remember new, right? When I'm trying to make new, it's how many requests, right? So if I'm doing new, right? Does new save to my database? Right? What saves to my database besides the word save? I'm looking for a special word. Great. Nice. Create. That's it. Cool. And we have our very famous edit. So edit and new show a form. Create and update will actually do those exact things. They will create an update into the database. And then finally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and lastly we have destroy, right? I always spell this wrong. I spelled destroy, and I will do it 9 out of 10 times. So if you just catch it, just be like, and I'm like, yeah, Roger got it. Cool? Questions on the 7 restful routes? Don't worry, we're going to beat rest into your head, and it will become second nature. So restful routing versus HTTP verbs. Cool? And we're going to get into that right now. When I set index, what is index? Right? What is index? Okay, I'll help you out here. All right, it's going to be all of a resource, right? I'm going to show all the candies that I have. Cool? Yeah? So, what did we say the route for index was? Yesterday, I wanted to see all the books. Today, I want to see all the candies. Just a wild guess. Candies. So smart. Right? Little do action, little end action. Right? I'll show you the shortcuts. If you type do without an end and just hit tab, it'll finish the end and put your cursor right there where you write that sweet, sweet code. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was going to be cooler than it was. I'm embarrassed. All right, so boom, cool? I know you like shortcuts. You always do. Don't got any more of them shortcuts? So, you get to candies. What does candies actually do in here? This is the controller. The controller is the what again? The go-between. The go-between which two things? The model and the view. So here in the modality, right, which model am I touching and what am I asking it for? Right? Candy.all. Cool. And what specific magic thing do I need here that allows me to pass it to the view? Instance variable, right? Ice cream cones allows me to embed Ruby in HTML, right? But the instance variable allows me to pass it into the view. So now I have @candies, equals candy.all, right? So what about the view in here? What am I trying to show? What am I trying to send back as a response? I want to ERB some sort of index page, right? The problem with this is in my application controller, where have I set my views? App/views, right? Like you gotta work with me. I like 90% of the time I highlight the answers, so just go ahead and just be a drone and just give it to me, right? So if I do index, where is it looking for this file? Just @views, right? Something like index.erb, right? Cool. Is this where I want my file? Let's just say I had something else like a cheeseburger controller, right? Cheeseburger and Halloween, they go together for me in my head, right? I'm a weirdo. And I want to see all my cheeseburgers. That will also have what type of file? Index.erb. So how do I separate them? I can probably do this folder, very specifically, is for candy. Right? And then I can just bloop, and now I have this. So if I wanted to, right, I can do like cheeseburgers, and now I can have a separate index.erb for both. That's how I'm going to start extracting out and abstracting these layers of scalability. All right? Just because it's called index doesn't mean that it's not necessarily reusable. So if that's the case, I'm just going to delete this cheeseburger. Is that cool? I just needed it as the example. Do you want who wants it? Who wants me to blast it away? I'm just going to blast it away. All right? Cool. Boop. Gone. All right? Now in my candies controller, right? It's looking for index. It's looking for index in app views. Do I have a file called index in app views? No, I have a file called index under what? Candy /index. Look at the way this syntax kind of changed. This indicates to me that it don't like this slash, right? It don't make no sense. So I can make it one thing by stringifying it. I love those responses, right? This is like this like knowledge bomb moments. You're like, ooh, ah. You know, that's how I eat. I'm very brute like that. Whenever something tastes really good, I'm like, that's good code, right? Cool. Any questions on this? That was a lot of code. Not really, but kind of. All right, so let's test. All right, let's keep that short feedback loop. How can I test this code? Actually, let's make another candy real quick, just because I want to see more than one in there. What's another candy in here? 3 Musca. Doesn't even worth my time. False. Cool? Yeah? All right, let's get out of here. How do I start my server? Usually I expect a more like intense response, but maybe it's because I'm like Army, but I'm like shotgun. All right, no, all right, just me, okay. So I go to a little bit of localhost action, and where should I go to? Slash. Well, what happens if I go to just slash or nothing? What is it going to do? The cup that spilled over? The Sinatra doesn't know this ditty? All right, well, let's take a look at the code one last time, right? A little bit of this, a little bit of exclamation. I have... So what does welcome look like? Cool. A little bit pre-built in code, yeah? But welcome to the Sinatra template. Great, got it. I should see something like this. Cool? So, here we go. Welcome to the Sinatra template. Nailed it. Cool. Notice here that it's just this div, we talked a little bit about it, with a class of container for like style reasons. And I have all of this. Everyone keeps asking about something called like, why don't I have this doc type in there? Why don't I have head? Why don't I have all these like weird normal tags that I normally put inside my HTML, right? Let's take a look at this one, for example, right? Just gonna hit Command Option J, which should open up my inspector. I can hit elements, and here, I pointed out last time that in my basic app, I didn't have anything in my head tag, right? But yet here it is. I have doc type. I have all of these like, hey, if it's like this type of browser, do something, this HTML tag, and then I have my head tag with like my style sheet in there. Where did this come from? Because it definitely did not come from this welcome. So here is something I want to talk about, right? There's the doc type. There's the IE stuff. Here's the head tag. Something called layout, right? What does this yield do here? Well, let's look through the rest of it. This is the head tag I just went through, right? On the page with the style sheet, title, Spooky Town, right? And then just a footer. Let's take a look at this code. I have my head tag, my body, and then I have like something here, this div. This is the div container. This looks like, I could be wrong, but I'm not. Right? This looks like what in here? Sinatra template default, this. This looks a lot like this welcome. Right? Sinatra template detail, bunch of divs, right? The class container here. And then all of a sudden, I see a footer with another tag in there called small. So if I go back to my layout, I see a footer with another embedded nested tag called small. So what could this yield possibly be doing?
That's basically a way for you to pass the layout to any other file.
Yes, this layout will take care of all of that doc type stuff, all of my head tag stuff, everything. And whenever I do an ERB, I'm just going to yield it right inside here. So that's why earlier when you were asking questions like how come I don't have the right doc type and all the other like basic HTML stuff, it's because there's some sort of layout. And then you're just going to interpret, you're going to yield in whatever ERB you have, which is why you just drop an H1 tag in there and just start writing your code. It's abstracting this for you. Cool? Rails does a better job, but this is essentially the same thing.
Do you have to make that connection somewhere, or is it just like given that everything the layout is?
The way the framework is written, it will yield what is passed in from the ERB from these. Remember, these are just Ruby methods inside the class. And now this instance variable is going to be the data of candy.all. And inside the yield, it will pass in this ERB file. And it will just render the ERB within the yield, sort of auto-magically. Cool?
Does that file always needs to be named layout ERB? Is that how the framework
It doesn't have to, but it is the convention. Cool? Any questions on that? Did that answer your question? I said I was going to get to it tomorrow. Yesterday's tomorrow's today. Yeah? All right, let's keep going. So in my index then, I probably want a little H1 action, a little indexorizer. Right? Writing index just gets boring for me, so I like to spice it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Cool. So what's in index? I have what? At candies. Does this look like what again? Does this look like Ruby or HTML? So I probably should embed it, right? A little bit of this action. Cool. If you download the Rails snippets, it's just Command-Shift period, and then it'll just give you this to you. If you don't have it, right, default is equal tab will give you this, minus tab will give you this. Cool? Right? So at candies is what? It's just an array. I can do a little each action, a little each do, right? These little candy objects, camd. Cool. A little bit of this, a little end action. Do I need this to show on my page? Right? It will actually break it because it will have no idea what this means. Right? HTML doesn't know how to interpret that. So I'm just going to hide it. A little sneaking action. Cool? So now with each of these candies, I can just do candy.name. Let's take a look. How do I get there? How do I hit this particular resource? And if all goes well, and it didn't. But don't be scared. Don't be scared, right? The hardest part about this is sometimes there is no error message, but there is useful data here. Try in your application controller running this, meaning for whatever reason, it doesn't see /candies. It doesn't even understand or recognize my candies controller. It says that everything should be an application controller, which is kind of trash, right? So I think there was somewhere in a particular file that said run the application controller or use the application controller. And I can find that. It says run application controller. I could probably tell it to also, don't forget, I made one. Let's use the candies control. Oh, that's not it. Use the candies controller, right? Now Sinatra is aware that there's this candies controller and I'm going to be using it inside my app. So if I refresh, I should see the indexorizer. Cool?
What's the difference between use and run?
I always get that question, and I don't have a good answer for you. I don't really know.
I'll just roll it.
Yeah. I've Googled it before. It's not super clear.
Would it work if you just use run instead of?
Yeah, watch this. Weird, right? Weird. See? Hmm? It's just one of them has to be run, one of them should be used. Every time you add a new controller, you're just going to keep using it. I think run is like the base parent that's going to start the application. And then use essentially is like, hey, these are all the other controllers that I'm like importing into this application. That is a guess based on me breaking it because I've broke it plenty of times. The docs on it, Exactly it. Ready? Sinatra, use versus run controller. Okay, great. This is
It always happens to me.
right? You know, isn't that great when like Flatiron School is like the #1 hit? Money. Cool. All right, Pinzang, hook me up. Okay? Great. 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 It just says run app. Cool. Yep, and that's the end of that one. Okay, structuring Sinatra applications. Cool. Let's hit use. Great. Great. Okay. Okay. How about run? You think run will hit more? Okay. Cool. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. And I cycled the whole page. Right? So I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not important. Right? We're gonna get to Rails, and Rails will import all of your controllers auto-magically in the application. But just for Sinatra, you'll have to manually tell it, hey, I made a new controller, use it. Cool? If you really, really want to know, I will dedicate like the 15 or 20 minutes to find the answer for you. All right? But just Slack me if it's like that important to you. Cool? All right. Good deal. Good deal. Perf. Back to the controller. Any questions on just the index? Cool. Let's build show. What does this look like? What's the restful route for show? Get to a slash candies. All right? But which candy? Slash ID, right? Because remember, this is going to come across as those params. We'll do action. And then what do I need? Well, first we talk to the model. Then we send the response, right? Which is generally, at this point, a view. Cool. So what do I need from the model? Well, I need the piece of candy, right? So absolutely. So candy.find. Cool. And how do I access this ID that comes through? Do you remember? Params with the key of ID. Cool. This is a particular candy, and I'm not calling it candies, right? Because I'm only just getting one at this point. Now that I have this magic, I can pass it to a particular view, and that view is going to be what? Amazing. Herb. And I want to make sure I get into my candy folder, little show action. I go into my views for candy, and I make a show.erb, and I'll just call it show me the candy. Candy. Oop. Oh man, that got out of control. Show me the candy. Candy. What is this? Cool. Oop, that was not what I wanted. Oops. Cool. Right? What else? What can I do now? Dot name, right? I could probably do like, here's the name, right? Is it tasty though? And then I can probably just do @candy.tasty. Cool? Thank you. So how do I hit this particular candy? What route should I hit based on the route I told the controller? All right, if you ever forget, you can do this. A little bit of this action. This is the exact route I'm going to hit. But for now, I know I have 2 candies, right? Just ID 1 and 2, very likely. What happens if I put 3? I see a lot of this, right? It's just going to be no. Exactly, it's going to break. So for right now, let's follow the happy path and see 1. Boop. Kit Kat, is it tasty? True. Oh God, that's such a bad user experience. Let's just fix that real quick, yeah? Let's throw like a line break in there. Ugh. Thank God. Cool? All right, any questions on just show an index? I've built this for you twice now, right? Yeah, it's gonna be so great. It's gonna be so great, number 9. Number 9 is gonna be so great. Just try to keep that excitement as high as you can for as long as you can. Already dead. So, what's next? Cool. What is the restful route to new? Am I posting right now? Am I patching, putting, deleting, or am I getting? Who says get? Oh yeah, so good. So good. Right? It's a get. Get to where? Right? Slash. I'm trying to make a what? New candy. Cool. Do action. And what does this show me? What is it that I need from this request in order to get the user's input? Do I need to touch my model for anything? Let's think about this, right? I'm trying to make a brand new candy. Can I ask my model or my database for information right now? Can I?
No.
I'm trying to make a new candy, right? That candy doesn't even exist yet. So for right now, this particular one, right? Like, candy does not exist. So I can kind of ignore this model for right now. I don't have to talk to the model for this particular one. But what will I need to send back as a response? Candy folder. New. Cool, right? Like, I don't know if you've seen this. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it's gonna stay the same. Yeah. Sweet. So what do I need to do now? Under views candy, I do a what? Sweet. Cool. Here's where it gets tricky, right? Little h1 tag, little like make a new candy. Great. Sorry, I just waited to see when someone would be bored. And they were like, why? And then eventually it went to this. So, great. How do I get the user's input? All right, gets.chomp. So I just dropped this right here. Is that the way to go? I need some sort of like input form, right? I need some sort of form to get the user's input. So in the same way that I can do h1, in the same way that I can do p tab, right? I can probably do what, a tab? Build that. Cool. That was cool. What am I looking for again? I wonder if that'll work. Bloop. Oh, snap. Cool. Cool. All right. This just looks like regular HTML. Remember I said like the basics of HTML is kind of like important and necessary here? This is just an HTML form. And class here is just right now for styling. And because I don't like styling, styling's for chumps, I build boring CRUD apps. I'm going to get rid of it. Any questions on that? Great. Great. What is action here and what is method? What does it look like? Okay, well, let's talk about method first, right? Where have I seen post before? The HTTP verbs, right? So this must be the verb that I'm using, and I can probably infer that this will be like the path, right? What is my action? If you've heard me say controller action, I'm referring to the particular controller with this action. What is it that it's going to do for me whenever I'm like do? All right, it's going to do this. It's going to do some sort of action, right? So I want it to do what? Let's say in my create is what? Is create get? Am I just going to get right here? Yeah? Okay, wrong. Create. I'm trying to actually save this to my database. I'm actually making a what type of request. Because remember, the form accepts the user's input. Then the user is going to send that input to the server. What kind of request would that be? Post, right? So, a little post action. Ooh, first time you've seen that one. Tricky, right? And where is the RESTful route that we talked about the other day for this? Slash candies, cool. Slash, would it have an ID? Have I made it yet? No. Does it have an ID? Like, can I add any other details to this route? Probably not, right? I don't have any other details to add. So for now, I'm just going to post to candies. Oop, sorry. That would have been bad. Cool? Post to candies? All right. What's that going to do for me? Well, let's find out, right? Let's test it. A little binding action, right? I'm going to pause it if I can hit this route. Is that cool? Let's go back to this new. And I want to do, what route did I just make inside my candies controller? A post to what? So this must be a post to candies. That easy, right? Everything wires up. Cool? This form is terrible because there's no actual inputs. So let's make some inputs. In the same way that I can do H1 or P or A, I can do tab. Whoa. Whoa, right? If you hit command and the slash, which is like the key above return, it gets rid of this file tree, like this. Then you hit it again to bring it right back. Cool? Boop, 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 boop. Great. So I'm going to ask for a text field. I have something called name here, right? That's weird. I'm just going to say weird. I have no idea what this is, right? Value, I'm just going to kind of tell you, and that is what the actual value is going to be inside this field. But I don't really want that. I want some sort of placeholder. Very good. Placeholder, and that's going to be give me a name. Name. Cool. Just going to make another one, and I'm going to put, I don't know, coffee. Cool. And this is going to be, yo, is it tasty though? Oh, little emoji action. What's really good? Ugh, barf. Cool. Great. Let's see. Is there anything else I need for this form? Right? I need a way to be able to submit this form, right? Little input action. And is it text type? Text type submit, right? Does it have any sort of name or value? Well, the name, not really, but value is what is going to be displayed for this submit button. So like smash that like, subscribe, it's your boy, cool, right? Just so you can see it. The more ridiculous it is, the more it makes sense to you. The more it makes sense to me. So let's take a look. Cool. I'm going to do, how do I hit this particular route? How would I hit this particular route? Wow, genius. Okay, great. Couldn't find candy with ID of new. Don't be scared. Our message is your friend, right? What do you mean ID of new? That's weird. Why would it find an ID of new? Yes. So if you remember, when I was just messing around and I changed this to like Godzilla or Mothra, or like I messed around with this, what came across as the parameters on the other side? Like whatever I typed up here, right? So it must think that new is some sort of like parameter I'm passing in. That's not the case at all. It's reading this and it's hitting this first. That's kind of jank, right? I'm like reading it top to bottom and it's hitting this because it interpolates this ID as new. There's a way around this and it's real sneaky, right? If I go from top to bottom, what's a good way to get this to hit first? Hoist, right? The hoist action. This is how you know you really know Ruby. You're dirty. Cool. Let's find out if that worked. Bloop. Cool. And there it is. Yeah? Any questions on what just happened of like that ID new breaking, me moving code up, and then it working? That's like a very important thing to understand. Okay? Silence is understanding. I want to say like other weird things that can be interpreted incorrectly. So, cool. Give me a name. Where did this come from? Give me a name. Let's look at this. Yeah? Boop, 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 boop. Cool. So here we have, actually let's spread this out a little bit more and shrink that down. Cool. So we have placeholder, give me a name, right? Yo, is it tasty though? These placeholders is kind of like this background text that go away immediately once I type in okay, right? Or anything in this field. Cool? So, name weird, name coffee. Nothing has come across yet as weird or coffee. So let's find out exactly what's happening, right? So let's give me a name. What's like a candy name that's cool?
Sour Patch Kids.
Okay. I like M&Ms, but that was a powerful voice, and you gotta respect the game, right? Sour Patch Kids, because it was like, exclamation mark a couple times, right? Is it tasty though? Hundo P. Oh, look at that. Smash that like button. Subscribe. It's your boy, right? That's where the value came from on my submit button, right? That's exactly where it came from. Cool? So if I don't put anything, what do you think will happen? Well, we'll find out later. Let's test one thing at a time. Cool? There's a lot of things we can do. If I hit this, where do you think this will go? Where do you think this form will take me? Where will the form take me? To slash candies, but more specifically, post to slash candies. So what it's going to do is it's going to go, oh, this is a get, oh, that's a get, oh, that's a get, ooh, a post, ooh, post candies. This must be where I want to go, right? So notice how even though the route is exactly the same, because it's a post, it will see this and go, nah, dog, that's not what I'm looking for. These are not the droids you're looking for, right? It will skip over it. Cool? So that's why I don't have to hoist that bad boy up again. Cool? So let's test the theory. If I click this, I should see, oh, dang it. Usually like I zoom in on the hang here, but too many tabs. I'm a tab monster, I'm sorry. Boom! Post to slash candies. What's the first thing I want to see when I come in here and check? I want to see what actually came across as my parameters. What did the user really submit? Yeah? So let's check it out. Oh, params action. Oh, snap. Let's check it out one more time. Oh, snap. Right? That's like my first reaction. Weird came in, and then here comes coffee. So Sour Patch Kids and true. Let's break down where everything came from, yeah? A little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Okay, just kidding. I'm just going to get rid of that. I don't need that anymore. Or this. It looks like in my form, this name field is what came across as my key for my params. All right? Same thing for here. The name came across as the key. Right? How did I get Sour Patch Kids and how did I get true? Great question, Evans. Sour Patch Kids, right? So it looks like the keys are what come through as what the user submits. So, I'm sorry, the values. The values are what the user submits. Yeah? So the keys, again, are the name inside the input. The value is what the user actually submits. Are there any questions on that whatsoever? So let's check it out. Ready? I can do, in right here, this binding, I can do candy.new. And I can pass it a name. And I can say, what? Sour Patch Kids? But how do I get that, though? I can do params with the key of weird. And it would give me back that. All right? Same as if I were to just do coffee. So I can probably do something like coffee.new. And then throw in, what? Name equals to params, key of weird. So far, so good? Oh, that's right. Thank you. Nobody caught that but one. Very good. Cool. And the tasty Boolean is going to be the params of coffee. Are there any questions as to like why I'm doing something like this? Or rather, are there any questions as to where params are coming from and how I'm using params to make this new candy? Wouldn't it be nice if this name was something like name? And wouldn't it be nice if this was something like, I don't know, tasty? That would be super great. How can I manipulate this form to do exactly that? A little bit of this action, a little bit of this action, right? I'm just changing the key. So, let's do it. Let's just get rid of, I should have ran that code. The reason I say that is because if you run it, it'll come back later, right? Cool. It should break, right? It doesn't actually like work, right? Great. So let's exit out of that. Let's go back to this new page. Cool. Give me the name. This is a great candy. Is it tasty though? Heck yes. Sweet. Let's check those params again. Oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Chris Brown. Give me that. Indeed I can. Run it, right? So, params. Candy.new. This looks like what again? Looks like a hash. The keys match attributes that I have inside my model. Can I just be lazy and just do this? Whoa. 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 Powerful. Cool? So, again, if I match up these name values inside of my input form to the attributes, I can pass in the params and be good to go one shot. Mass assignment. Any questions on how I got there? Right? How I played with everything? And I broke it, it was all busted? Cool. Let's just mess around and see what happens if I miss this. Boop, boop. Cool. A little bit exit. / new. It just defaults to submit if I do not put a value in for submit. Cool? So if you just forget and you're like, okay, I don't want to remember that nonsense, boom, extract it away. Yeah? If you're ever curious about something, just play with it, just test it. All right, so what should I do now inside my controller knowing exactly what I just found out? If my name values are correct, I can just do, right, something like @candy equals to, right, candy.create with the params. And that's it. Should this create do anything else? Well, let's see what happens, right? Without the binding, let's see exactly what happens. Cool. Ready? So a little bit of this action. Give me a name. What's like a good candy name?
M&M's.
Whoa. M and M's. Right? Is it tasty though?
True.
False. Yes. All right. So one benefit of being the instructor, you say whatever you want, right? If I hit submit, cool, interesting. Well, I guess it's done. Because it did exactly what I told it to do. It just made this candy, was like, cool, I'm done. Cool, cool, cool. I probably want to what? I probably want to send something back. Remember this pattern here where I'm hitting the model and then what?
View.
I'm hitting some sort of response, right? But for right now, all we know what the response can do is view. So I can easily just ERB what? Show? Candy show? Do I want to do that? I mean, I can, right? I can just candies show. Let's find out. Loop. No. I want to go to new. And let's make J and J's, right? It's the first letter I thought of. And that's true. So much better than M&M's. Cool. Wow. What a much better user experience. I probably don't want to be like rendering here because I already built this show. So I can probably, what, redirect. Man, light bulbs went off. That was wild. I I'm not sure if this is the correct. You know if this is the correct syntax? Just redirect, or is it redirect to? Let's find out. Let's find out. Little new action. All right, what are we doing? A and oh, that's not it. A and A. True. Yeah, didn't like that. No, did not like redirect. Oh, you're right. You're right. Not Candy's show. It should be Candy slash like this ID, right? Because I want to hit this route. But I already have the ID. I have it right there. String interpolation, right? So let's see if this works. Come on, Sinatra. You know this ditty. Stop playing. Stop playing. Huh?
It would be candies.
You are absolutely 100% correct. Is it still a symbol? That should be fine. Come on, Candy New. Give me that. What's going on with Candy's New? Oh, put candy. Error messages to your friend, right? What kind of candy are we doing? The error candy. Very tasty. Eat it every day. So good. Boom. Right? So I redirected instead of just rendering directly because I've already written something that does that. Why would I want to duplicate code? You will get into more of like a render versus a redirect next week when I talk about like Rails. But for right now, it's like if I've already built something that does the show and I want to redirect them to the show page, I'm just going to hit that route. Cool? Any questions on this? Yes.
For the route that goes to candy/new,
Yeah.
why doesn't that have a candy.new param line?
You mean like at candy equal candy.new?
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet. So I'm passing in this instance variable of at candy into candy new. All right? Great. Let's go here and see where I'm using at candy. Am I using it here? Or here? Or here? I'm not using it anywhere. It's not useful to me. So to create data for no reason, it's bad practice. Cool? But that's a very, very good question, right? Like you would think that like I could probably touch the model. You will do that in Rails, but for right now, it don't make no sense. Cool? So I don't actually need this because in my new, my candy doesn't even exist. I can't do like candy.find. Using candy.new doesn't really do anything because then I'm just creating with the params down here. Right? I'm doing the new and save all at once in my create. Cool? That's a very good question though. I like where your head's at. Yeah?
Is there any other method to do the candy/ID other than just move up the new? I mean, whatever.
Oh, like moving this up and like hoisting it up?
Yeah, is there any other way just passing the parameter?
No. You gotta hoist it up. I mean, if you really want to, you can get hacky, and then you can break convention. What I mean by that is like here we're doing this like /candies, /candies new, /candies ID, /candies. I can do /candies and then like hit that route, and it'll never bump into this. Right? I mean, that's dirty, super dirty. And then if I wanted to get to this, I'd be like, all right, sure, I'll play. And then I'm like, all right, great, I want to make a new one, candies. All right, like /new. This is what I would have to do. Trash code, right? Because it's not really restful. It's not good convention. I can't follow that out of nowhere based on the rest of like all my candy routes. Cool? All right. I'm glad you think that that's so funny. It's cool. All right? But yeah, you'll have to hoist. Rails, you will not have this problem, and you'll see why later. Any questions on just new and create? Why I had to get to, where the post is, why they're where they are, and building out the form. Mass assignment on the form. Good deal. Let's fly through edit and fly through update, and then I'll let you be on your way. Cool? So here's edit, right? What kind of request would this be? Remember, in the same way that create is how many requests? 2, right? Because I need the what? I need the user's input first, right? So a get to where? Right? Just straight edit. All right? But I need the ID of the candy I'm editing, because here the candy exists. All right? Little do action. Cool. And then what about update? Let's just build this for now. Is this going to be post? Why patch? Right. And what route am I hitting? Does this exist right now? Yeah, and I need to know exactly which one it is, right? So I have to throw in the ID. Cool. That makes sense to me, right? A little binding action, right? And what should edit do? What should edit do? Great. We find the candy, right? Because that's why I passed in the params, right? First I have to get the candy that I want to edit. Cool, what now? So here we're just talking to the model, and now the response. Do you want to show the candy? Or what we can do is we do something cool, and that is we can ERB a candy slash wonder where you got that from. Lucky guess, I bet. Cool. Bring back my terminal in candy. Little edit action. Cool. I don't want to build this form twice because I'm lazy and it probably looks the same. Cool? Make a new candy? No. Edit that candy. Cool, right? Okay, guess not. What else do we have? Is this going to be a post to slash candies? And the edit, what are we doing here? What did I just say inside my candies controller? Yeah, I'm hitting the patch, right? So I probably want to put patch here. Probably. But probably, right? And what route am I hitting? I'm just going to copy it because I'm lazy like that. Cool. Bam. Is this going to work here? I can probably do what? You said params ID? Is it params? Am I going to have the params here right now? I will, but don't forget, I have the candy already. I found the candy, and it's inside my edit view. So, a little bit of this, 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 a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Yes. Exactly. What does this look like to you? Cool. Just kidding. I commented it out. I don't need this now. Right? I could drop Ruby anywhere I want because this is not valid HTML. Right? Like @candy is not good HTML. It looked like a Ruby. So I got to Ruby interpolate it. Any questions on that? Yes, sir. Because here I'm string interpolating @candy.id, right? String interpolation is available to me in HTML, in Ruby. So what kind of file is this? Oops, just kidding. What kind of file is this? HTML.erb, right? So if we look very carefully, this looks like Ruby or HTML? Ruby or HTML? Okay, Ruby or HTML? Ruby or HTML? Ruby. So I'm going to get rid of this. String interpolation does not work in HTML. Right? I need to be writing Ruby.
And you need the spaces on either side?
I put them because it's easier to read, because if you see this, it just looks like trash.
No,
Function the same way. Great questions, though. Good question. Yeah? I put it there because I just like little space, little buffer room. You know what I mean? Fat guy. Do I want to view it? Do I want this to come across, or do I want to hide it? If I hide it, it's just going to go to slash candies. If it comes out, it'll go to slash candies slash this ID. All right, so I want this to be seen. Cool? So, placeholder. What did I say about value earlier? Forgot already? Cool. Value is actually the value that's going to come up inside this box. Placeholder is like grayed out and it has no real value. Doesn't mean anything. But here, it does. So I can probably get rid of this. Probably want to throw a little Ruby in there. Little candy dot title. Just kidding. I'm making books now. Right? Throw a little of this, and I'll show you exactly why this is the coolest. Right? Not much changed. So let's go to, oh man, I messed myself up. Candy slash edit. Right? Boom. That's weird. Oh, I did that wrong. Candy slash 1 slash edit. Right? Don't be scared of your error messages. Cool? Look at that. KitKat already comes up for me. If I'm editing something, I probably want that value to come up. Otherwise, it's like, hey, make sure you edit that KitKat. If this value wasn't here, this would be entirely blank. It's like, great. I forgot what I'm editing already. It's kind of embarrassing. Right? I want it already there because then I'm like, KitKat's proper now. Hit that capital K. Right? Grammar Nazis out there. Cool? And then for whatever reason, if you wanted to change this to false, which you should never do, you can. And then you hit submit, and look at that, just like that, your param should be coming through. Right? So value is actually what gets put in, and placeholder is just this grayed out sort of like text that says like, hey, put something in this text field. Almost, yeah. Like be careful with the words you use, you know? So, that being said, if I hit this, it should go to this patch of slash candy slash ID. Who thinks yes? Who thinks no? Okay, cool, we'll find out. What happened here? It didn't actually change. Interesting. Why? Let's take a look at that terminal. Oh, wait. Yeah, let's take a look at the terminal. I did a get to slash candies, right? With the ID of edit. Then I submitted it, and then it just did this. It did like a get to candies with the name of KitKat, tasty true, a bunch of weird stuff. How come it didn't hit that binding inside my patch? Why did I not hit this? Yes. If you remember from yesterday's lecture, the browser only understands 2 types of requests. Which ones? Get and post, right? So here it is, a little post action. Cool. Now I have to trick the browser into thinking it's going to be something else. So for this particular input, I'm going to hide it. A little hidden action. Sneaky. Right? For this one, I'm going to tell it the method, I'm going to overwrite the method. Right? This method, post, not post. Right? Sorry, not sorry. The value here is going to be what I actually want, which is going to be what? Patch with a J. Cool. Let's find out if this works. Go back. All right? Break me off. Kit. Cat. Bar. Submit. Which actually should have worked. You see anything? Oh, that's right, I forgot. So that did not work, right? There's one more thing we need to do. Inside my application controller, remember it inherits from everything. I have to tell it that I need this overwritten, right? I want it to override this method. So where can I reference this? Let's just say, for whatever reason, I forgot. And I did sinatra rack override and something like patch, right? I'm just like throwing a bunch of words at Google, something that I know I kind of need. So whenever I say like, hey, have you Googled yet? This is exactly what I'm doing. There's no like secret formula to like the answer or whatever query I'm putting into Google. It's just, this is generally what I'm trying to do. Here's like some key words that I understand. Let's see what happens. Cool. Cool. It looks like there's something called, oh, that's probably not the right answer. Sinatra relies on something called rack method override. Cool, let's click it. Huh. Boop, boop, boop. This underscore method hack is implemented by putting in rack method override component into the middleware pipeline. Cool, let me just try this. Ready? A little bit of this. Boom. And see what happens. Okay. Cool. I don't think that that's actually it. The config? That's right. Boom. A little bit of this. I didn't even read it. Oh yeah, that's right. It should be in like this config file, right? Always read the readmes. See what happens when you don't? Embarrassing. A little bit of this. Rack method override. Cool. Let's refresh this. Hit. Nothing beats KitKat, right? Kit, cat, left or right Twix. Cool. Twix? Cool. Submit. Did not like that. It hit a post to candies _1. What's going on here? No guesses? Cool. It did. So here's what we're going to do. I introduced this concept to you in the last lecture, right? CD Atom 17. Boom. All right, where do I change this thing? Oh, there it is. Bloop. Oh, use Mac. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Is it just this? Did I forget the use? Embarrassing. Let's find out. Okay, I shut the server down. Fail again. All right, let's get back to Spooky Town. Shotgun. Cool, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Wow, I didn't realize it was like obnoxious like this. Submit. Yes. Success. Success. At least I think so. Bloop. There it is. Yay! Thanks, Laura. We love you, Laura.
Allie mentioned that also.
What?
Allie mentioned that fix also.
Thanks, Allie. We love you, Allie. When I do it by myself, I just look like a psycho, right? Cool. So, first thing I should check when I hit this binding is what actually came across. Boom. I have something called underscore method, right? Remember, I had to hide it. And then I have the name and the tasty, right? Also, this ID came across, right? So, because remember, it came across the params from here. So, can I just do something as simple as, I have the ID. I need to what? All right, I need to find the candy, right, with the ID. And what should I get? The first candy, right, the Kit Kat. Can I now do, with C, just do some sort of like update with the params hash? Who says yes? Who wants to be really disappointed? Great. Unknown attribute for underscore method. That's weird because I didn't put in method, Did I? I think I did. When I put in params, I put in, not only did I put in this underscore method, but I also put in ID. I happen to have an ID for this, but I never really want to overwrite the ID by accident, right? Once I'm ID 1, I never want something to change that ID in my database, right? So if I put in this hash, even if I somehow got rid of this, I kind of want to be careful when I'm updating like the ID field, right? So is there a way I can make this its own hash? Well, let's find out. What did I do right here? Right? Where are these keys coming from again? Keys coming from here, right? Right here in this name attribute, right? Let's play around. Let's just play around, right? I could do something called hash equals to empty hash, right? Cool. If I did hash with the key of attribute, and I equaled that, attributes rather, equal that to also an empty hash, what would I get for my hash? It's some sort of hashy hash, right? With this, I can probably do what? I can make a nested attribute and just put adder1 equals to, actually, you know what? Let's just be really explicit here. Name, right? KitKat2. Shh. Cool. Interesting. What if I also did something like tasty, and I did mega true, and then I saw hash again? I would see in this hash a nested hash of attributes with a name and tasty pointing to just what I want. So I can probably do attributes and just get what it is that I want and filter out everything else. If I can only just make a nested hash. Can I just do, I don't know, nested? Just make it a nested hash? Let's find out. A little nested action. Nested action? Boom, boom, boom. Cool. Let's find out. Let's go back to this after I exit out of that. And I did, I don't know, Oreo, Weo, right? You ever like watch Wreck-It Ralph 1? Great movie. Great movie. Good times. Cool. What are my params now? Ooh. Wait, that's not important. Wait, that's not important. But this looks important to me. Right? So like params with the key of nested. Bam! Can I just do C equal, I'll do this. Boom. C dot update with now my params at a key of nested. Whoa. I just made my own nested hash because I'm in control and I've got the power. And by me, I mean like you all, right? So I just made a nested hash, allowing me to just filter out anything that I don't really want and only the params that I actually want coming from the form. Were there any questions on building that nested hash, why I did it, and still being able to use mass attributes? Mass assignments, sorry.
Is this something that Sinatra provides you? Because how do you create like nested hash inside HTML? Because you wrote
Okay.
it in the-
You mean like literally doing this?
Yeah.
No, I just literally did this. I just nested, right? This is the key, and then this is like the value. And then remember, this just becomes the key. This just becomes the key. If both of them share this same beginning hash, it's just gonna add into that hash in the exact same way that when I did, oh man, I lost it. But when I did like params nested, it's the same as when I did hash attributes, except I didn't pass it in like a symbol. I just did hash attributes. Cool?
So that's native HTML allows you to like create nested hashes. I don't know.
Yeah, HTML, exactly. In the input form, it allows me to make my own nested hash. in order to separate out all the nonsense, just get what I want from the form. So I don't have to put nested. I can put something like candy, right? Candy. So now it should look a little bit cleaner, right? Ooh, that's like really punishing, huh? Cool. Cool. Submit. Now I can see what's coming across as params, and it looks like I have candy here instead. So I'm not going to do it, I'm running out of time, but I would simply just do update with a key of candy. C is not going to work here because I didn't do like seed equals like candy.find, but yeah, I would just change it to something that makes more sense. I put nested because I'm trying to bridge that gap between when I just made the example hash and I nested it to now this makes more sense, right? I'm going to update candy with a params, a key of candy. Are there any questions? All right, we went through a lot. Went through a lot today. Cool. Are there any questions on index? I'm sorry, that's new. But index and show so far. Why did I hoist new above?
So it doesn't interpolate.
Correct, right? Post candies. Am I going to run into the same problem of being able to like hoist it? No. Different HTTP verb, right? So when I want to update something or want to make a new something, I have to build two different types of requests. One to send the form, and then one to actually do some sort of update function, right? So here would just be @candy equal to candy.find with the params of ID. Cool. And then I simply do @candy.update with the params at a key of candy, because that is what's coming across on my form, my nested params of candy. And then, remember, if I don't do anything here, it's just going to make the update and just be like, all right, cool, I'm done, thanks. I probably want to what? Send it back. So I want to do that redirect to /candies/ the ID of candy. String interpolation. ID. Here, we are in what type of file? Ruby. So string interpolation will work here. Versus when I did it here, I was in what type of file? The HTML file, right? So that's why that string interpolation doesn't really work here, and I need to use the ERB. But here, because the controller is a Ruby file, I can easily just do string interpolation. It's just regular old Ruby. I don't have to do anything fancy with it. Cool? I could probably go back and do like a refactor where when I do my candy.create, I can probably pass it in like the candy params. If I were to add candy here. Yeah? I'm just making that nested hash. So it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit more explicit. This will serve you well in Rails. This is just sort of the concept and the idea that I can create this nested hash, I can get the params that I want, and I can build and update or create with that. And only the data that I want. Any questions? Yeah?
Is that just convention to use the name of the class for?
Yeah, exactly. It's convention to, yeah. Because then like, it makes sense when I do candy create, params of candy. You know, that reads really well. Versus like if I were to put nested in here, and someone to read the code and just be like, great, you're making a candy with nested params? That's weird. Like, that don't make no sense. It just reads a little bit better. And that's why I named it that way. But convention says just name it the class. So when I have eventually nachos, I'd put params of nachos, and I would change this to nacho. All right? Now you see that scalability. All right? Are there any questions? Yeah?
So new needs create and then it needs update.
New needs new and update, and then edit needs edit and update. I'm sorry, new needs new and create, yeah, and edit needs edit and update. Yeah? Because you have to show the form to get the user's input. Then you do something with that user's input. Right? The requests know nothing of each other, so you have to like send up all the data all the time.
Is a nested param
It only popped up because I threw in this hidden, right? And then this underscore method came in with my params. Versus when I had it on new, I didn't have to trick the form into thinking it was something besides post, right? And I had to be like a little sneaky. But with the edit I did, because the patch is not organic to HTTP and the browser.
And that's the same for delete, right?
That will be the same for delete, but I will get to delete when we get to Rails. It's a lot better.
When do you start Rails?
We'll start Thursday night. All right, if there are no questions, or just